Hello and welcome everyone to Women Speakers Association's WSA TV. I'm Laura Rubenstein, your host and producer and digital media marketing strategist. You can find me online at transformtoday.com. And today we have an amazing topic, as you can see on the screen here, the path to higher health. And I have some experts who are going to help us talk about how to get to your highest health of happiness physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and say hi to our guest today. Hi, Michelle.
Hello. Hi, I'm coming from Syracuse, New York. I'm an awakening speaker, teacher, and healer. You can find out more about me at empathevolution.com.
Welcome, Michelle. Thank you for being here. And Lauren, let's say hi to you.
Hi there, I'm Lauren Parsons. So I'm the author of Real Food, Less Fuss. I'm the founder of the Snack on Exercise movement. And you can find me at laurenparsonswellbeing.com. And I'm a wellbeing specialist, speaker, and author.
Great to have you, Lauren. And Paula, hi.
Hi, I'm Paula Shaw here in San Diego, California. You can find me online at paulashaw.com, and I am a life transitions therapist, author, and media host.
Yay! What a great power team we have today. And there's no accident who comes together on these shows, but I was inspired by what each of you do, and I want to talk about the path to highest health physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And I thought each of you could weigh in on with some advice about what you have for viewers on how to get to their highest health and happiness. Michelle, I'd love to hear your advice first.
Sure. Health and happiness really is an individual thing. I mean, each of us defines it differently, and there's outwardly you feel good, everything looks fine, but inwardly things may not be what the world sees, and you may not be feeling it. So for me, it's asking the question, how am I feeling? What's really going on with me? And one of the key things that I would urge people to look at is coming from your heart, expanding your heart, strengthening your heart. So many ways that one can do that, but very simply put, it's just putting your attention there and knowing that the love comes from within you and goes out, not the other way. There's more I could say on that, but yeah, that's a beginning point.
Is there a place people can start with that?
Well, first it's realizing that energetically, energy is energy, it comes from everywhere, but music is a beautiful thing. Music moves the heart. Music will move the way you feel. So putting more of those good things into your life to help you expand and be a lighter version of yourself and feel good.
So, I already feel good thinking about that,
Oh yeah. Well, you just went to somewhere and something that you love, and that changes it. I've told people before, what's the one thing that you love each day when unequivocally you look at it and your heart just expands? What is that one thing? And you take that and you retain that memory and you pull that into your day. It gives a different flavor to life, because if we can hold on to the things that nourish us and be reminded of it, it changes the lens. I'm looking at life from this great perspective as opposed to some other version. So I'm looking at the good. I'm feeling what lightens me versus the other way around.
I think it's so important in today's very anxious world to remember we have the power to create that lightness. So thank you for that advice. And I'd like to go to Lauren and ask you for your advice on how can people, what advice do you have for their highest health and get to a path the way there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's three key things I'd love to share. The first one is 5 little words, which is focus on what you want, which is similar to, we're backing up what Michelle said. So often we do the exact opposite. Anytime that we focus on a problem that's going on or a challenge, we tend to focus and we get stuck. Whereas if you can shift your focus to think about what you actually want, you'll actually drive yourself towards that. There's a part of the brain, the reticular activation system, which is tuned in to actually help you notice opportunities in line with the things you spend the most time thinking about. So if you get a clear picture of where you want to be, how you want to look and feel, it will help you be drawn towards it. The second saying I have is to snack on exercise. And by that, I mean to get moving just for 1-minute bursts right throughout the day, because we're all busy, but somehow we all find time to brush our teeth, right? And if that takes us 2 minutes morning and night, then why not spend 4 little minutes, not just looking after this little part of your body, but looking after your entire body. So I just actually delivered a TED talk on this topic at TEDx on Eont. It'll be out shortly. And you can look that up at Snack on Exercise, and you can get involved in that whole movement. We're creating a global movement, getting people up and moving throughout the day, not just for your physical health, but also for your mental health. And then the final one is real food with less fuss. And, that's hence the title of the book. I'm really big on helping people to get more real food into their lives, but without the fuss, without the fads, without the diets, without it having to take hours, because we're all busy, right? So finding ways to focus on getting more good stuff in. I've got systems around how to, for example, practical things like bulk cook a quadruple batch every time you make a meal. So you only have to cook 2 nights a week and have every other night off cooking. A lot of preparation and a lot around the mindset, being relaxed about your food, eating the food you love. That is really key. So yeah, those 3 things I think work together to help you really boost your health and happiness.
I'm going to go snack on some exercise, and you've inspired me to do some more bulk cooking. So thank you so much. Those are very practical and tips that we, just implement one little thing and you're on your path. And so Paula, I want you to round us out with some of your advice on how people can get on their path to higher health, in with their relationships.
Absolutely. I think if we want to have higher health, we have to have good relationships. And one of the things that's really important about good relationships is having good communication. So in my upcoming book, Saying the Right Thing When You Don't Know What to Say, I give 5 steps for having really helpful, healing, and productive communications. So the first step is be present. Be sure your body and your mind are in the same place. The second one is have the right intention. Go into the talk with the right intention of what you want to create from that communication. The third one is have a mindset of being comforting, supportive, and coming from your warmest, most connecting self, not necessarily a combative self or a self that has to be right. The fourth one is listen. Listen without judgment. That's critical. Listening is key. And finally, the 5th step is respond from the heart, not from your head, because so often we go into these conversations with either the intention to fix someone or to get our point across or to win. And the truth is, the best thing is to just respond from your humanity, from your heart. And that creates a really helpful, productive conversation.
Woo! Women, you are wise and wonderful. And I know that when we, do what Paula, you were just saying, is each of you had a tip about being conscious. And Paula, it was about being conscious in what you're going to speak. And Lauren's about conscious about being what you're going to move and do and think. And Michelle, it's about how can we actually change our state of being just by consciously choosing something, like music, as simple as music, or to open and expand our heart. So if you take these suggestions for more consciousness and implement them into your life, you are on the path to your highest health and happiness. So thank you, ladies, for this incredible advice. And thank you, Gail and Deb, for being here and joining in on this. And if you have comments or questions, we can get to them too. So, but in the meantime, each of you came to this wisdom in a way that, you're wise because of what you do. So I'd like to learn about who do you work with and what do you do? What are you passionate about doing? So Michelle, give us a little overview of you.
A little overview. What I'm passionate about is awakening people to the fact that we can impact one another. We energetically either hold a heavier feel to us because of how we feel, what we think, what we have in our world, and we do impact one another every single day. So how do you deal with negativity that comes at you. What is it that I'm feeling versus what other people are feeling? And how do I change a situation or change an environment or a conversation? And our words are important. Relationships are based on words, but it's also like an awareness of what is my thought on this? How can I help this? Where am I coming from? Where's the more positive angle? So who I work with is people who are open to concepts as like energetic sensitivity, emotions, emotional empowerment. It's a little bit outside of the box of the norm because I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor. I use energy to help teach you how to impact and change yourself. So it's your journey, it's your self-healing journey. And the moment we can start looking at everybody as on that path to realizing more of themselves, how powerful they really are, instead of always looking out, look in, that's priceless, and that will change them. So I hope to I work with individuals or organizations because there's plenty of people out there that these tools and tips and this knowing and this connection could impact. So yes, that's what I do.
Beautiful. And so how did you come to this work?
Well, I've been sort of a seeker all my life, I would say, very introspective, very analytical, but I came from a business background and very goal oriented. And then, but always struggled secretly, anxiety. I knew things that could help me for sure, but it wasn't until I had like some crazy experiences in my late 30s that I really said, hey, what is going on? What is going on? So I realized through lots of digging and research that I was empathic. And as such, I wasn't just feeling my own emotions, I was feeling their emotions. And there's a whole slew of teachings that goes with that. But that was the moment when I read there's 30 traits, I'm like, I almost have all these traits. Like, what is this? Anyways, it's allowed me, I just became so passionate about it. I'm like, so everyone's struggling. People are in recovery. People are trying to dumb down and neutralize and not feel because they feel too much. That's how I came to it. So the techniques and tools and the knowing that I teach is about how do you yourself change those dynamics instead of running away from them? Like, let's get it. Let's see what this really is. So that's what I do.
Fabulous. Congratulations. And thank you for the great work you do. And so, Lauren, I want to learn a little bit about how you came to the work. Well, not really not how you came, but I really want to know, who do you work with and what do you do with them? What are you passionate about doing with your clients?
Yeah, well, I actually started out when I was back at school. I was the shy, unsporty kid who was always last to be picked for team sports, and I really lacked confidence in myself physically. And it wasn't until I went to university that I got dragged along to an aerobics class. And after going a few times, they said, if you want to be an instructor, come and see us afterwards. So I put my hand up. And before I knew it, I was actually teaching the very classes. And my boss left and I took over as the temporary manager. And they said, hey, you're doing a pretty good job. You can carry on. So that launched my career in health and wellbeing. It was 18 years ago. And so I'm very passionate now about helping other people that felt perhaps as I did, that were intimidated, that didn't know how to get started, to be able to discover the easiest ways to get moving, to boost your mood, because what we do with our body absolutely affects how we feel and vice versa. So I work with a lot of busy professionals, a lot of parents, and I work with them both individually and I work with businesses to help create a positive, vibrant, energized workplace culture that really supports people to thrive, to have staff that are really engaged, that want to be there, and that are much more productive because their holistic health is actually just, running on all cylinders.
Wonderful. And do you have a story about a client you helped?
Yeah, well, I work with a lot of people, especially businesses that have got a lot of staff that are seated, that are in offices and desks and professional settings. And some of the things I've done, for example, I work with a marketing firm and they introduced the concept of the little gold bell. And so this was an idea around how to snack on exercise and how to make it fun and how to make it a team engagement activity. So one person would ring the bell every day and everyone would get up for 30 seconds just to snack on exercise. And they found it made them much more creative, because when we move, our problem solving is enhanced, we have better cognitive function, it switches on the learning centers in our brain. Another organization I worked with, they got their team to set recurring timers in their phones, reminding them to get up and take a movement break every 25 minutes. So I have a cycle. I recommend 3 25-minute work blocks with 2 to 3 minute movement breaks. So that can be putting on your favorite song and having a dance party, doing a little desk exercise routine at your desk, just finding a way to get moving. And when you do that, it boosts your productivity because you have this false sense of urgency that helps you to be more focused, and then you get moving, so you're more productive, more alert, more focused as you get back into your work.
I definitely need some desk-ercise.
Desk-ercise.
Desk-ercise. It's great. There's a little shout out to Deb Coleman, who's here from Syracuse as well, watching Michelle, FYI. So Paula, tell us. I want to know, who do you work with? What are you passionate about doing with them? And if you can share a story about a client.
Sure, I'd love to. I work with both men and women who are going through life transitions. People have a love-hate relationship with change. We need it so we don't get bored to death, but we don't like the unfamiliarity of something new. So I'm passionate about, both in my private practice and also on my radio show, helping people deal with change and develop a more comfortable relationship with it. Let me tell you about a guy who came to see me. He was going through a slump in his work. He was a mortgage loan broker, and this slump really had thrown him for a loop. He was even questioning if he'd chosen the right profession. And it got into a lot of negative thinking, which, we can. He was worried that it was just going to keep getting worse, right? Sometimes we get ourselves pictured in bread lines when we're just having a week or two that's not totally on. So what I did was explain to him that when we get into that negative thinking, it makes it even more difficult to create success. And so I use a lot of cutting edge mind-body tools, energy psychology, neuroscience. I love those tools because they move people much more quickly. And so we found what some of his limiting beliefs were, and we cleared those beliefs using these tools that I'm talking about. And he left feeling much, much better. And 2 weeks later, he had 7 loans in the pipeline. So he was thrilled. And his business has continued to go well because he's aware now that his thinking creates his reality. And if he doesn't know what he's thinking that's causing the problem, then he comes and sees me.
Wonderful. The power tools that you have are very effective, it sounds like. So congratulations on all the work all of you have done. And I would like to ask each of you about Women Speakers Association, because as you can tell, everyone, that the women, the caliber of support that's here is phenomenal. And if you'd like to learn more about it, please go to joinwsa.com. But I'd like to hear from each of you about what's your experience like and what value are you receiving from Women Speakers Association? Michelle, why don't you share?
For me, Women Speakers Association allowed me to step forward as a speaker. I researched everywhere. I'm like, how do I step into that arena? And I was really impressed with what you had online. And I've been even more impressed with the women I've met. And I'm looking for connection, collaboration, co-creating what we can out there, which is really open-ended. We've got so much that we can do. So it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. And, becoming a speaker really is a path to having an abundant business and becoming known as that thought expert. So, Lauren, tell us about your experience and the value you're getting from Women Speakers Association.
Well, the thing that I love about Women Speakers Association is that it is international, that there are people from all over the world. Being originally from New Zealand and moving a lot because of my military husband, I've relocated my speaking business over and over again, and it's phenomenal being able to make connections with people all around the world, being able to ask questions and just get insights, because as speakers we have so many of the same challenges and successes and stories to share, and we can all help each other. And it's so great to be able to collaborate, to work together. I love running retreats and events, and there are so many things we can even do online. So, you know, whether it's coming down under to visit me in New Zealand or being able to travel around the world, connecting with other women that are in the Women's Speakers Association is amazing.
Amen to that. So glad to have you to collaborate with here. And Paula, tell us about the value you love receiving from Women's Speakers Association.
You know, sometimes you join an organization and you don't get much more out of it than, yeah, you're a member of that organization. I am blown away with how much you offer to educate us, to help us, to smooth out our performance, so to speak, you know, and to give us real life tools so we can be better at speaking. I think it's incredible. I've never seen a group offer so much and for a fee that's so incredibly reasonable. I can't hear you, Laura. I don't know if anybody else can.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can now.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. Well, you know, so much rich. I'm so excited for everything that you all have access to here on Women's Speakers Association. Thank you for your heart, for being a part of the richness. And for those of you, again, who would like to join, you can join at the free level at joinwsa.com, or you can do what these women have done today, which is upgrade to the premier level. And like you said, Paula, there's so much there. There's all kinds of opportunities for you to learn how to bring yourself out as a speaker, to connect and collaborate with other speakers, and to raise your visibility. So this was a fabulous show. Thank you for guiding everyone to their path to higher health. We'll be back again with another special episode next week. And we're in October next week. It's amazing. So for now, have a great week, and we'll see you online at Women's Speakers Association. And don't forget, join WSA.com. Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye-bye.